So let's finish up that chair, and here's the leather part we need to texture. And if you look at the reference, it's a pretty basic material. Basically, I think we can get away with 2 layers. One is some sort of light brown suede looking leather, and the second one is oiled leather, and that is darker and shinier. And I'm probably not gonna create all those hairs and stuff, because that's more about the modeling and not texturing. So here's the material we're starting with. This is going to be our first layer, and let's say we want to make this the dark leather. And I think we can create a nice looking leather by using some procedural maps. So let's start with a composite map. Alright, and the first layer, let's say it's gonna be some basic noise. Let's see it on the model. Set it to fractal maybe. Increase the levels. I think that's good. Okay, so the noise color should be something brown. Okay, like that. And I think that's going to be a good base. Yeah, not bad. Maybe the red is a bit too saturated. Okay, so like that. Let's add another layer, and this time let's add some Burcon noise. So this one is a bit large. Let's make it smaller. And I want this to be quite a bit smaller. Let's say 0.5 or so. Okay, that's fine. Let's try some fractal types. And let's preview with the TextMap preview script. I think that's not bad. Okay, I should probably reduce my render size so I get some quicker previews. So let's set that back to 400, and that should make it quicker. Okay, so the base looks good. And let's use that as, let's say, multiply. Alright, see how that changes. Too dark. Okay, let's try overlay. And that's better. And let's set it at maybe 30%. Not bad. Okay, one more layer. Let's set up a color here. Let's say we're gonna go with some basic black. And create a mask. Sorry. And for the mask, I'm gonna use some sort of Burcon noise again. Okay, so here we are. Now let's try some Worley type noise. Set the size a bit smaller. And try some fractal options. I think this one looks pretty nice. Let's try to adjust some settings to see maybe we can get something more interesting. And I want to invert this this map. Right. And again, let's try to set it at multiply, and maybe 20% or 35. And it's not that bad. Perhaps this layer with noise is a bit too large. And that's better. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to my first layer, increase the size a bit, and change the colors a bit so they are a tiny bit more similar to each other. Okay, now it looks more natural. Right, so that's the diffuse color for now. Perhaps let's add another layer to our composite map. Again, I'm going to use a black color. And as a mask, I'm going to use some Vray dirt. And just swap those colors around. Reduce the size and preview the map. Okay, the size should probably be quite a bit larger. And that's nice. Okay. And nice darkening around the edges now. So, this looks pretty good. I'm also going to use the same map in my reflect slot, but I guess I'm just going to run it through a color correction map. So basically reduce the saturation and see how that looks. And maybe let's bring up the contrast a bit. Alright, like that. So the reflection color looks good. For glossiness, let's use a basic map like, again, Dirt 8. See that on the model. The size looks alright. Maybe we can increase the tiling a bit. Sorry, 2 by 2. And that's a bit better. Okay. So enable Fresnel, set it maybe 3. And reduce the glossiness map amount. I'm gonna set it at 40 for now and reduce the reflection glossiness over here to 0.8. $55. Okay, 0.9, just to see how it looks. And I think that's gonna be better. Make those reflections a bit patchier, yeah. Alright, so that's the oiled leather layer. I'm pretty happy with it, so let's create a new layer. And that's going to be again another Vray material. let's assign it to this object so we can see it better. And so the diffuse should be probably something like background noise. And for the background noise, let's reduce the size to something quite a bit smaller. Okay, just to preview it, try some fractal types. Right. And change the colors to beige, brownish, suede looking leather. Okay, so set that size to something smaller and render and see how it looks. Okay, I like the overall color. Let's mix it with something else a bit, so it's not so perfect. This is gonna be our first color, and I'm just gonna mix it with some black, using some regular noise. Set to maybe size 2, fractal. And make it weaker. Okay, that's gonna be fine, I think. So we have the diffuse map. Let's run it through a fall off map to create the suede effect. So that's the first layer, or the first map, and I'm also gonna connect it to my second map slot and reduce the amount here to maybe 50% or 75 to mix it with this white color. And then just adjust this curve here to control the fall off. Not bad. And I think I'm pretty happy with this layer. Just add some little bump. Run a color correct here. Desaturate. And increase the bump amount. And perfect. I'm pretty happy with it. Now just let's blend those two together in a Vray blend material. So Vray blend. Let's say this is our first layer, and this is our second layer. Now let's use some sort of a bitmap, or maybe a composite map. Let's use a composite map as a blend mask. So let's use a couple of bitmaps here. Maybe dir 13. Okay, not bad. Let's increase the tiling. And maybe some crackles on top. I have a crackle texture here. Okay, where is it? Right here. Alright, much too large. Tiling at 4x4. And I think the composite doesn't look too great right now. So let's try some blending modes, like lighten for example. And preview the map. Okay, and those crackles are a bit too much and I want to make them less visible. And I think something like a noise map might help here. So I'm gonna mask the crackles with some noise. Okay, set it at 5, fractal, 8 levels, and increase the contrast. So this is how the crackles look right now, only visible in some spots. I think that's going to be quite a bit better than before. Okay, so let's lay out those children. And let's see how the whole material looks together. And the overall look is quite good, but I think I want to add some additional bump to both layers. Okay. I'm gonna reduce the blur for my bitmaps as well, just to make them a bit crisper. And let's use this composite map in the bump slot as well. So, a mix map here for the suede. It's gonna be color 1, and this composite is gonna be color 2. But once we blend them at 50%, you're gonna see that those white areas for some reason come upwards instead of inwards, and that's not what we want. We want the reverse effect. So just run it through an output. Just run it through an output map and check the invert option. Alright, perfect. Now when you render it should work fine. Yep, working in the correct direction now. So I think it's too strong, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to that mix and reduce the amount of the second color to maybe only 10%. Okay, that's better. And also I want to use the same map in my first layer. So basically we need this output map and we need to mix it in this bump map slot here. So just run a mix here. That's color 1. Let's bring that down and assign this output map to the second color as well. And let's try it at something like 30 for now and see how that looks. Okay, sorry. For some reason I took the wrong map here. I took the reflect map, which I didn't need to do, but instead I should have used the bump map. So let's do that correctly now. Assign the mix to the bump slot, yeah, that's correct. Drag it down to this output and just connect it to the second slot. Right, and let's try the 30. Now it works perfectly. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's unhide all and see how the whole chair looks together. and I think the result is pretty good.